A very frustrating night in oil country. Sid the Kid, Evgeny Malkin, Erik Karlsson, not Stu Skinner, but Brett Kulak and the Pittsburgh Penguins defeat the Edmonton Oilers easily on this night. 6-2 is your final. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Ben Thomson. Matt Cassian is our game analyst. He will be along shortly. We're coming at you from the satellite studios in beautiful downtown Edmonton. And then Benny is at EST Global HQ. You can text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat as well. A lot of people have, and a lot of people did early while this game was still going on. I saw a bunch of texts came in while there was like 10 minutes left in the third period. I saw a ton of people leaving the building. I was leaving with them with like 11, 12 minutes left in the game. Just they knew this one was over. Beat the traffic. Can't blame them whatsoever. It was a stinky night for the Oilers at Rogers Place. Betty Thompson, sum it up for me, baby. Outside of stinky night at Rogers Place.
Brutal. Yeah, not ideal. I mean, to me, the whole game obviously starts off with the 3 goals in 37 seconds. Like, I mean, that's just flat out unacceptable. I mean, a lot of them just bad turnovers and just losing your guy. I mean, that I got to give credit though. Sidney Crosby's tip in the high slot was ridiculous.
Magnifique.
Mantha's move on that breakaway was ridiculous. Like there was the Pittsburgh Penguins, man. Like I've been hard on them the past couple of years, but right now it looks like they're looking like a team that's going to make the playoffs this year, and good for them. I'm happy to see Sid on a competitive team again, which is it's always good. I feel like it's great for the NHL when that's the case, and we got all of that and more tonight. The Oilers lost to a team that played better than them tonight. I mean, there's no other way to put it. To me personally, Penguins go up 3-0, and I actually thought from the 15-point mark of the first period to about what time did Pittsburgh score in the second? What was that, like 7 minutes in? I actually thought the Oilers weren't that bad. Like I thought there was some momentum coming for the Oilers, and on that, I mean, Wallman scores shorthanded, and I was kind of like, okay, you know what? Like, I actually think there's a chance the Oilers come back and win this thing. It just seemed like they were trading chances, but they were getting some good looks on Shilovs. But it was that fourth goal. What was it? What goal was that?
Raquel.
The Raquel goal, and the delayed penalty.
Malkin.
Gross pass. Yeah, that was nasty. Yeah. That was the backbreaker. And I can't fault Tristan Jarry because he made some big saves before that Raquel goal. Like, it wasn't the first shot that Pittsburgh had that was a high danger that goes in. Like, he made some pretty big saves leading up to that, but eventually, it was just screened and lets an Ricard shot from the top of the slot. Yeah, definitely not a great game at all. Probably your worst game you've played in a while. I was going to say
Boston, Philly.
Yeah, Boston New Year's Eve.
Couple weeks.
Yeah,
3
Boston
weeks
New Year's
ago.
Eve is probably the last time you're coming away from a game going, wow, that was rough. Not great. You need to fix up some things. But definitely. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is.
I'd put puck play at the top of that list now, to be honest with 100%. You. Now, good on Tristan Jarry. He spoke tonight. Tough night for him, but his whole team picked him apart, and he did not get help in front of him, getting a taste of what Stu and Pickard experienced early on this season. A bit of a regression, and it was like every defenseman. Yeah. And it started with the top pair, unfortunately, for the Oilers. And so Pittsburgh actually returns the favor. You know, Edmonton did it to the Penguins on December 16th, shelling Stu. I think they got 5 on Stu plus the empty netter, but they made it closer at 6-4. Then tonight, the Oilers, the great shot by Savoy, by the way, I'll just say that, but didn't really make it as close as Pittsburgh did a few weeks ago, actually just over a month ago in Pittsburgh. All right, text us 780-218-9999. Many have already done so. Thank you so much. We will remind folks that GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show and providers of the best diesel engine components around, turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Edmonton falls to 25-19-8. Pittsburgh improves to 25, 14, and 11. They are off to Vancouver. Meanwhile, the Oilers are busy. They have the Washington Capitals coming into town on Saturday. That is an 8 o'clock start. Super sloppy defensive lapses. It was, a pleasant surprise to see Leon Draisaitl play. But I think everybody Benny, you were saying on the broadcast, they said it was a surprise.
Yeah.
He wasn't expected to play. I mean, this morning they made it seem like there was no chance. And when Chris Knobloch was speaking to us around 10 a.m., Leon Draisaitl was probably over the North Pole somewhere. 8.5, 9-hour flight direct from Amsterdam. That's tough to go from Europe to North America, land, maybe go straight to the rink. I don't know.
They're saying he landed at 3:30-ish, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's when guys are starting to show up at the rink, right?
Quick turnaround. So
good on him. And I think it's part of he wants to help the team.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he is. B, 11-7 and you're barely playing Regula. They're in a bit of a bind right now. So I understand the desire. That's tough. Good for him gutting it out after, not a great trip home, not a great circumstance to go home, first of all. And then coming back to Canada and going right into a game against a Penguins team that was 6-2-2 in its last 10, 3-0-2 in its last 5, and continues to stay hot. So I tip my cap to him, but that's hard to do. Really hard to do. I don't know when the jet lag will kick in. I've done the European trip in my adult life once, and that was tough. So kudos to Leon Draisaitl, but looked like a guy that was in Europe for the past week or so, for sure. All right, let's take a look at some text. 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. Lots of text coming in. I'll try to read as many as possible as the Oilers fall 6-2 to the Penguins. They've lost back-to-back games now, and we'll look to regroup on Saturday against the Washington Capitals. Not easy to do, but got to start somewhere. All right, we're going to go to this one. This one has expletives in it. No name, but I'll read it. The Oilers play an entitled Dipsy Doodle game, and Louis says, just throw away the game tape. How about they drill it into their head that stop playing cutesy expletive hockey, entitled hockey, go to the expletive net, forecheck, play with some expletive intensity. Refunds should be given to the people who bought tickets, and the money comes out of the player/coach's pocket. That sounds like something my dad would say. I'll be honest with you. I understand the disappointment and anger, though, because they suck tonight. I don't know what from that game tape you would pick up, because there were mistakes all over the place. I'm sure they will look at some things, but what's that quote? We suck the hind banana from head to toe, I believe was the Pat Quinn quote. I hope I'm getting that right, but that one was pure stank. Thank you for the text. Even with the expletives, I cleaned it up for you. This one says, one bad loss in a while, fans lose their minds. Breathe, everyone, breathe. This is oil country. Nobody's breathing. Everybody's losing their minds. This is what it is. They have some work to do. They need to clean up some things. You cannot deny that. You can't turn a blind eye to it. That was really bad, and the Penguins took advantage of them. Let's go to Coach Mike. Coach Mike says, cheating for offense, cheating for offense, cheating for offense. Oilers 1-2 on this homestand. Need to figure it out. Indeed. And then this one, it says, what was Bouchard doing on the second goal? I would even ask, what was he doing on the first one? Great pass, though, through Ekholm's skates. Ekholm can't mask that for him. He's too slow. They gave Mantha that breakaway for free. That's from Marcus, the Caps fan. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. And then let's go to one more here before we welcome Cass in. BDA boy says, Tommy, the work effort and level of engagement from the drop of the puck and the eventual 3-goal lead did them in. At a minimum, fans deserve an engaged team and something that resembles a bit of an effort. BDA boy, that's a fair point. Thank you for the text. Lots to get to. We will do as many texts as we can. 780-218-9999. As we welcome in Matt Cassian, I will rattle off another stat pack from Brian Swain. Says Oilers points through 52 games since they last missed the playoffs in 2018, 2019. In 1920, they had 62, 2021, 66, 21-22, 61, 22-23, 63, 23-24, 67, 24-25, 68, 25-26. They have 58. They are on pace for 91 points, which would not be enough to have made the playoffs in the West in any of the 4 seasons since the conference expanded to 16 teams. Now, the only saving grace here, Cass and Benny, is that the Pacific Division is super weak. And they're 3 points up on Anaheim, 2 points back of Vegas, who lost tonight and have dropped their last 2. So Swainer with some good stats there, but you're really just chasing a playoff spot down in the Pacific, I think, at this point. Cass, what do you think?
Of the game or of chasing the points down in the Pacific?
You know what,
or maybe a little bit of
up to you.
A little bit of both. Oh man, it went right back to that sloppy start they had against the New Jersey Devils and couldn't recover from that. And it was, it wasn't just Evan Bouchard. It was everybody. But a couple reads by Bouchard that weren't great on the first 2 goals. First one, he just loses a guy in front of the net. Just straight up pushes across to somebody that's already covered. Should have stayed on his post. Would have been fine. Second one, he's cheating for offense, tries to jump into a rush, puck gets turned over, then Ekholm gets beat. And those 2 quick ones, they're gonna burn you. And then goal 3, Leon, a little bit of a TV turn. He gets a pass tonight, as you guys already said. He was out there trying, and it was a great tip by Crosby.
That was beautiful.
It was a beautiful tip by Crosby. But it was just another unengaged, sloppy start to the hockey game. And those 3 goals right there, I mean, that does it. I mean, not only is Crosby's the game winner in that, but just really deflated you. You thought you got a little bit of life with the Wallman goal, and then it went right back down the tube. So it was not an impressive night for the Oilers following a game where they only played 1 period. So, they go have 2 great games where they dominate, put up a ton of goals, let none in. And then all of a sudden you have 2 games where you don't play nearly as well. Really, you played 1 period out of 6 for the Edmonton Oilers, which is not a good thing. Not the way you wanted to start the homestand. The positive, as you said, Tom, at least it's a Pacific Division, and this was an Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, not a 4-point game. And, we're looking at silver linings here, and that's one of the few from this one.
You want to know something that I just find funny?
What?
So this could be, it's not really a silver lining, but for me, it's kind of a silver lining. I think you guys will like this. We have not seen one time in the chat, trade Jarry.
I'll give credit before the game. Shaggy had it in the comments. Can't wait till Oilers fans run out Jarry this time. It's to see the goaltending hasn't changed. That's the one thing I've seen. But yeah, to your point. Yes.
Yeah. The old 727 save percentage. Oh, well, if you just would have made a save with one of those first 3 goals, the one save. We're not hearing that because people realize that they're on to other things, right? It's on to blaming Frederick and everybody else. So, so that's a silver lining. Is that I don't see everybody blaming the goaltending because I don't really think it was his fault. It was tip of the net. Mini breakaway and a beautiful tip by Crosby on those first 3. So yeah, that's it. I mean, just a little bit of a positive.
Do you guys wonder? So obviously Jarry playing his former team tonight, 2 of the breakaway goals going in 5-hole. Do you think they knew the playbook on Tristan Jarry, or was that it just happened to turn out that way?
Well, how about that Malkin goal too, by the way? Yeah. Just to toss that there. Cass, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Maybe a little bit. I mean, that's certainly someone you're comfortable going against because you've, for most of those guys, gone against them in practice a whole bunch of times. I think, well, it depends. Sometimes those situations seem to favor the goaltender. Sometimes they really seem to favor the shooter, just depending on who's feeling it in a given moment. Yeah. Today, it's quite clear that it wasn't Jarry that was feeling it. It was the shooters. And maybe a little bit. That might be something that they have done in practice is a little bit of a 5-hole play, and they know if he is moving and the wickets open up a little bit. So yeah, it could be a little bit of comfort there from practice on those.
I mean, he did play for them for quite a while. So 780-218-9999. The Oilers get their butts whipped 6-2 by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Whipped. Thank you for recognizing the cool whip.
Why am I saying what? What way?
Say Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi.
Yeah. Will Wheaton. Sorry, that's a Family Guy thing. Okay, let's get back on topic. The sloppiness. Because Cass, I know it was Joaquin in the other night. There were some sloppy moments in recent losses. And the puck play wasn't particularly good. We talked about it on Tuesday night, when they played New Jersey. And listen, closer game. They only lose 2-1, and the goaltenders were very good at both ends of the rink. But what's happened to their puck play? What is happening here? And that perfect weekend, because I'll call it that, you beat the teams 11-0, don't allow a goal, you look great. How much of that is smoke and mirrors because of how much of a drop-off that level of competition was?
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a little bit, right? Like Vancouver's struggling right now, not playing well.
Yeah.
There's got to be some. You have to think there's some. And Pittsburgh was a team that came in here today that has been playing really well, that has been playing defensively really well, and they're having a really good run of games here.
Yeah.
So, it's not all to blame. It's not all to blame.
No.
New Jersey didn't come in here and play like horrible, and Edmonton still didn't find a way to win. Like they came in and did what they needed to do. It does make me a little bit nervous, though, I will say, for some of those other bigger games that are coming up down the schedule.
Yeah.
Like you think about the Oilers playing the Minnesota Wild, for example, and you're just kind of like, okay, there's another team that's playing quite well, that's pretty good. What's that going to look like? Like, is this, is this the team that beat Vancouver and St. Louis 6-0 and 5-0? Or is this the team that we saw tonight playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins? When they play against good competition, what type of pushback do they have? Washington, another Eastern Conference game coming up. The Anaheim one will be the first one, though. Like, that's a team that's right there. Like, and not a team that's a great team, but it should be a competitive game. It should be a game that you're up for. I mean, that's
make sure you win that one.
Yeah, well, absolutely. At home. And that'll be a telling sign, guys, on was this a hiccup for a couple games, or is it just they don't quite have it against those really good teams? Because if we look back, like I just look back at the schedule, like the rest of January, and we talked about at the start of the year, like they had a really tough schedule first part of the year, and post Christmas, their schedule is lighter. But if we go back through the rest of January, like who do they have here?
I want to look at strength of schedule.
Powerhouse. Yeah.
And like, Cass, I'll just interject really quickly. The wins that they've gotten in the last few weeks aren't really against strong teams.
No, like you have to go back to really to Vegas.
Yeah.
December 21st. That's over a month ago.
It's over a month ago where it was like, okay, here's a top tier team, and they stuck it to them. Now they had some, like Winnipeg pushed, thought played decently well.
Yep.
LA played decently well. It's not like the teams were playing horrible. Yeah. But they haven't cleanly beat a good team that played well. And that's, again, I'm not freaking out, guys. I'm not freaking out, but does it have the spidey sense tingling a little bit? Yeah. I think it does. And I think it's fair for people to feel that.
Absolutely.
And Washington hasn't been great as of late too. So we're not going to be able to see if like that game against Saturday, they've dropped, I think it was on the broadcast, 5 straight now. So that Saturday game against Washington, you're not like, that's going to be a down team compared to obviously the roster they have. I'll compare them to, they're similar to the Winnipeg Jets. Like a lot of talent on that roster. Things aren't going great for them right now. It's a win that like will look better because you're playing a team that should be better, but they aren't at the time.
The Caps lost yesterday to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, Benny, 4 straight losses, and then there's got to be an OT/shootout loss in there prior to the 4 straight regulation losses. 3-6-1 in the last 10. And then on the road, they're 10-11-3, lost to Vancouver. Keep that in mind last night. So that's noteworthy. And then Edmonton, maybe an opportunity to turn it around. I mean, regardless of the level of competition, where the team stands is coming in on Saturday, just go win that game, clean up some stuff, play harder, play the right way. And I think, you'll, if you win, you get the result, gain some of the fans' trust back and confidence. B, probably instill some within your own room. And then C, try to get hot again. I mean, it's going to take hard work, and only they can control that. So we'll see. And then obviously health of some players. If maybe they get Kapanen back this weekend, that's good. But bit of a slog right now for sure for the Oilers with these 2 losses, and dropping games against good teams has kind of been a part of the last few weeks, unfortunately, and playing sloppy. The puck movement is the real theme in all these losses. I mean, sloppy against Boston in that New Year's Eve game, sloppy against Philadelphia. They got away with it, like you guys outlined, against teams like Winnipeg. And is there, Cass, when you watch the Oilers, is there a pretty straightforward, evident formula on how to beat them if you're the opposition?
If you're the Oilers, let them sleep. I mean, like it's like let the top dogs sleep. Don't try to get them too physically or engaged. Like, just stay on top of them, limit some of their chances, try to make them pass, pressure them hard. So it's let the big dogs sleep and pressure the heck out of their D, because when they're not playing well, they turn pucks over. Their defense, and their forwards too, because they have guys that cheat offensively. That's the recipe, right? If teams pressure, generally go in either a super hyper aggressive 1-2-2 with a pinch, or if they go with a 2-1-2 and just try to, again, force the defenseman to move the puck earlier than they want to, that's where they turn it over and teams get opportunities. Now, what I would say though tonight was maybe Edmonton didn't get opportunities themselves because of it, but the breakdowns were misreads and puck focus in their own zone today. Like there was a lot. Even go to goal 4, halfway through the game, when you score the shorty and Walman gets you sort of back into it. And that 4th goal is everybody watching the puck.
Yeah.
Like, now they collapse to where they should. You get down to the front of the net, but then, and I'm not sure who it is. It may have been Matt Savoy. It may have been Howard. And maybe that's a younger guy mistake in that instance, but the heads and eyes are turned towards the puck, just watching, and nobody shoulder checks. And Raquel just kind of pushes in, slides back out, finds some open space, and ends up being wide open. And those type of plays are, I think, what kills him tonight. I mean, Bouchard pushing up, the same thing. Yeah. When he should. Him jumping into the rush, and Ekholm maybe getting a little bit too aggressive on the rush as well. That catches you. A little too puck focused, a little bit too worried about what's going on up there and not thinking anything about what's going on behind you. So yeah, there's no clear defined blueprint. If there was, I would probably say it's pressure their D like crazy and they turn pucks over. I don't even think that was their big undoing today, though. I think their big undoing again was just the overly puck focused and getting hypnotized in the defensive zone.
That's a nice way to sum it up.
I would say that also you gotta keep the Oilers power play off the ice. I mean, that's number one. You can't take penalties against this team. Tonight they didn't make Pittsburgh pay, but they also didn't really have that many looks at it. They had one actual power play. The shorty
is +1 on the special teams for the Oilers. They won the night.
That is true. If you don't count, the delayed penalty for Pittsburgh could be looked at as a man of bad, but the big thing with the puck play, I believe that's the most important part of the Oilers game that needs to be at its highest at performance wise. The systems, the physicality, the speed of the game, that's all. Obviously, those are important things that you should have with your game. But to me, with the Oilers, the way they're built, their puck play has to be elite. It has to be, because they have all these skilled players and all this talent that I believe that when they are playing at their best and they have good puck skills, there's not a whole lot of team that can match it. So for me, the puck play what you see in games like tonight, where it's like if it's sloppy and pucks are rolling off sticks or whatever, they simply just don't have enough to make up for it.
Yeah.
The most important thing they need to nail is their play with the puck. And tonight and against New Jersey, it wasn't good enough to win them the game.
Yeah, I might phrase it differently, but you're spot on, right? Like it's that transition from the defense to the forwards. Like when they get the forwards the puck with motion, with speed, cleanly, and they exit the zone with speed, they're so much more dangerous, and teams are then forced to back off. But when they're bobbling it, as you said, when they're throwing it away, when it's sloppy, that's when that pressure is forcing them, and they're not nearly as dangerous, right? You eliminate such a big threat from the Oilers when you're able to do that. And yeah, tonight and New Jersey was a great example. So good pickup. I think that's a very apt statement, Benny.
Nicely done, Benny Thompson. All right, text us 780-218-9999. Let's get to a few of them right now. Let's go to Mr. Dad. Mr. Dad texting us says, "Evening, gents. Can someone explain why Oilers management paid a king's ransom for Jarry before even test driving Ingram? There was no need to make a desperate premature trade. This is proving to be yet another colossal waste of assets and cap space. It's like Stan Bowman doesn't even negotiate." Yeah, Mr. Dad, I would say this. From all indicators, the conversations about Jarry go back to the summer. So he was on the radar. He was happy to come back to Edmonton, wanted to be here. And I think they gave Stu Skinner a try. I do recall what was told to me by someone from the Pens organization after the trade. He described it as the Oilers folding on that deal, giving Pittsburgh way too much. And then if we recall Ingram, his numbers in the AHL were not very reassuring. So I understand where you're coming from when it comes to the Jarry trade. He had a tough night. So did the team. We outlined that quite a bit, but let's see how this goes. He was also nicked up for a little while and has just returned. Let's go to Andy Pandy. Andy Pandy says, "Can someone please blast Bowman into orbit? This team on most nights is a 1 or 2 man show. Can't beat decent teams with any regularity and can't get much in the way of contributions from the majority of the group. This roster has got worse in a hurry. And since Stan, quote unquote, Shirelli Bowman has gotten involved, it's been a crap show again in the front office. The signs of this poorly constructed roster is there to see on most nights. Would you trust Bowman with 97's most important 2 years coming up? Not a chance. Until this team shows they can defend properly against teams that can throw a lot at you, this group is going nowhere. Losing another game at home and yet another awful start. Thank God the division is a steaming pile of you know what." Signed, Andy Pandy. Anything there you guys want to touch on maybe?
Yeah, they're not a steaming pile of you know what. I mean, they played very poorly today, and they played very poorly against New Jersey. But that's I mean, you're upset, Andy Pandy. So you know what? I'm going to send you a verbal digital hug here. I don't know if you're watching or if you're listening. But you seem like you need a hug after that text, and I need to tell you it's going to be okay.
I was going to say, Tom, the idea that's been circling around the office about a PSA. That would if I had that on my board, I would play that right now. I'd hit that and cover the screen. Are you frustrated with the Oilers right now?
Hi, I'm former NHL enforcer Matt Cassian. Yeah. Do you need a virtual digital hug? I'm here to provide one for you. Consider it done.
Everything will be okay. Yeah. Your identity does not have to be wrapped up in this hockey team. The sun will come up tomorrow. Yeah, you can still smile even though you're frustrated. And it's okay to have emotions and feel frustrated.
Cass, this is something that we have discussed in meetings. I think Belsey came up with the idea. You, him, and Joaquin just record a couple of PSAs that we play every now and then or post on social media, interject shows with. I think maybe we end up doing that at some point. But
that'd be great.
Virtual digital hug. I'm going to write that down because that was brilliant. I love it.
The script.
Yeah, add it to the script. Virtual digital hug from Cass. And that's a grizzly bear hug, by the way.
It's a big old bear hug. Yep. Yeah,
from Cass. That's so nice. I love how you came up with that. That is beautiful. All right, let's get to a couple more texts. Then we'll get a look ahead from Cass. Benny, keep an eye on clips. How are we doing? Do we have anything yet?
McDavid and Jarry are ready to go in 2 seconds.
Okay, let's do this. Couple texts, get Cass's thoughts, and then a look ahead to Saturday, and then we'll go into the locker room. And then Reid should be on his way to his satellite studios right about now. Let's go to Stupid Peter. Text in says, Knobloch continues his head-scratching line decisions. Would the third period not have been the perfect time to try some new line combos and deep pairing since nothing else worked? Completely avoiding Nuge as a 3C or one of the guys up the line is so strange to me. Signed, Stupid Peter. And, what's crazy is we're so used to Knobloch getting the blender out at all times.
Yeah.
And now Stupid Peter's like, why didn't he get the blender out? And I bet Stupid Peter probably isn't the only fan thinking about that. Cass, what would you say?
I mean, I am fine with him not pulling it out because I do complain about him pulling it out way too often from a line blending standpoint. A little bit more tricky today, and even with Nuge, Leon is going to be jet lagged, right? And so you're trying to find things. You're trying it wasn't, and even then in the third period at that point, what are you going to get out of that anyways? I don't know much. So if you wanted to look at this next one and say, hey, maybe they should make one or two changes, sure. Fine. Let's talk about that for Washington. But for tonight, I'm not freaking out about him not changing the lines enough in the third.
Yeah, I get it. Andy Pandy just wants to clarify. He said, Cass, I didn't say the Oilers were a steam pile, meant the division. And I got that. No, all good. All good, Andy Pandy.
Andy Pandy. Maybe the hug worked. Maybe I need a hug too.
I'll give you a virtual digital hug.
Virtual digital hug.
Okay, let's go to Nolan from St. Albert. Good to see Nolan at BP's on Saturday. He says, I was at the game in the third period and Oilers were losing. And Oiler was losing his cool on the bench, slamming, kicking the door over and over. Did y'all see who it was? Looked like Freddie from my angle. I know McDavid was throwing towels and stuff, but
they showed Connor frustrated on the bench. I don't think on the broadcast they showed anyone kicking anything or whatever, but
it happens. I had something there that I want to interject with, but it'll come back. All right. One or two more, and then we'll get Cass's look ahead to Saturday. Taco, what's up, Taco? Says, Tommy, the Oilers played themselves tonight. They assumed that they would win again after beating up the Penguins a little while back. Pens wanted revenge for Skinner, and the Oilers weren't ready. Absolute bummer tonight. Yeah, Taco, you summed it up pretty good. Let's see what Collingwood Rob has to say here on the text line, 780-218-9999. Nasty chat. I've been looking over there a little bit. It's been pretty funny. Collingwood Rob. Why won't this load, for crying out loud? Text line's getting hit hard and is slow right now. Cass, while it loads, let's just take a peek ahead to Saturday. You get Ovi and the Caps. We talked about it a little bit earlier. They are struggling lately. Dropped 4 in a row, 3 straight in regulation. Or is it 5 in a row, 4 straight in regulation?
Four in a row. 4 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. Lost 4, and they're 3-6-1 in their last 10. How do you look at it?
Yeah. Well, you're getting another game where you're coming in with a team that's playing back-to-back. Not long travel, but Washington plays in Calgary on Friday night and then in Edmonton on Saturday. Part of what Washington's bringing in here may depend on how they play against the Flames, but for the Edmonton Oilers, I mean, I'm not even freaking worrying about the Washington Capitals at this point. They're a fine team. They're okay. They have players that can still put the puck in the net. They have Tom Wilson that plays stylistically a style of game that gives fits to the Edmonton Oilers with the physicality and the pressure. So you have some of their good players that match up well against you. But you're worried about your game because your game hasn't been anywhere close to good enough the last 2. It's been way too sloppy, been way too slow, been way too putrid, and you're not even thinking about the Washington Capitals. I don't think about them a little bit on the game day, but heading into tomorrow in a practice or whatever you're going to do for the day, you got to be thinking about just cleaning yourself up. This isn't worry about Washington at all. This is fix your own crap, then move forward.
They have an off day tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is a day where you wake up, you sleep in a little bit, you get some good food, you go for a walk, you sit in the couch, you ponder why you suck so bad for about an hour, and then you say, you know what? I'm going to make the decision to be better tomorrow. And then you go and you have some lunch, you go for another walk, you sit in the couch, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do to be better tomorrow. And then you be better tomorrow. Like it's, you reset for sure. You have to get yourself mentally in a position here where you're prepared to get back to that game that you need to play. When they played fast, when they played aggressive, when they played successful versus what they've done the last two.
Okay. Well said, as always. Clear it out of your system. Think about improving yourself for the day on Saturday.
Yeah.
What you did wrong, maybe feel shame for what happened tonight.
Yeah.
However, you got to handle it. I have one more from Justin via the inbox that I'm curious to hear your thoughts on. Justin texts in and says, Tommy, boys, I think it might be Ekholm. He's just not the same as and Bush seems to be not able to read what Ekholm is doing, reaching a lot and out of position. He just seems slow. Cass, how would you respond to Justin on that one?
Yeah, well, he's slowed down, and we've talked about that before. Really, the injury and sickness heading into Four Nations last year seemed to be the time that it hit, right? And time is undefeated for professional athletes. It always wins and always will win. And yeah, he's not as fleet as foot as he has been. Now, he still positionally plays very, very well. Still plays hard, still works, still thinks the game. Yeah. But yes, he is not as fast as he used to be. And that you see that in that instance on that goal against where he just gets beat because of it. Now, there was, I think, a little bit of a misread in that too, where he did play a little bit too aggressively and I don't think recognized that Bouchard was jumping as much as Bouchard was. So there's a little bit of a read on that one too, that he was scrambling to get back. So he was already a step behind before because he was late in transition. So there's part of that. But yeah, I mean, we can't expect Evan Bouchard or Matthias Ekholm to be the same as he was 3 years ago. I mean, he's 3 years older. He's not in his early 20s. So yeah, again, still effective, still a good player, still a good defenseman, but yeah, he doesn't quite have that same jump.
Yeah, maybe not a first pairing heavy minutes guy anymore. Yeah. And I think we're watching that.
And that's not a bad thing to say. And at that age, it's not like it's unacceptable and we should be upset about that. Like it's, again, time is undefeated.
I would have what I feel like is most fans' response. Well, find the guy. Go find the guy. And that's easier said than done.
Way easier said than done.
Yeah. Cass, a virtual digital hug to you tonight.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. It's so cozy and warm and nice. Thanks, Benny.
Awesome stuff, Cass. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay. See ya.
There you go. That's our game analyst, Matt Cassian, helping us break down the Oilers' 6-2 loss at the hands of the Penguins. It was bad. Okay. It was bad. Nothing good about that outside of the Savoy shot. Nothing was good about that. That was a great shot. Good for him. You know, good. I know you're so partial towards him, Benny. Anyway, you know what I like about those type of goals? It's not a corner pick. You're shooting it like at the goalie's head. You're whizzing it by his ear.
Yeah.
Those go in. And I think that was smart. I thought it was a great shot. And you want to talk about like a little silver lining? That shot. Wonderful. Yeah. He's got a couple goals in the last few games, and hopefully that breeds some confidence and good play, and he continues to develop. Looking at the positive side of things here, but not much positive tonight. I'll say Savoy's goal. All right, Benny. Yeah, there you go. That was for you. That's for you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who are we going to hear from first in the Oilers locker room?
Let's hear from Connor McDavid. Here is McDavid from the locker room after tonight's loss.
Look at that score, and if they didn't see the game, think goaltending was part of it here. Is it fair to say that wasn't the case?
No, George played well. He got a lot of grade A looks against him and made some big saves.
You mentioned that before this is a real important stretch for you guys and hasn't gotten off to where you want to be, especially on home ice. What's been lacking overall this month? Because you started out, usually you guys have been a very good road team, home team, excuse me. It just hasn't really come to fruition in January.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously not the start to the homestand we were looking for. Could have a good one Saturday.
How stunning were the 3 goals in 37 and then just trying to get back in the groove after that?
Yeah, obviously not ideal. Not a great start. Yeah, playing catch up is tough in this league, and you look pretty bad when you're doing it. So, yeah, it wasn't our best, obviously, right from the start.
We've seen your team's level of consistency and ability to put in 60-minute games in March and April and May. Mm-hmm. Do you guys need to get to work on doing that in the middle of the season?
There's 30 games left. We're coming down the home stretch here. There's no February this year. So it's like we're at the end of February. The sense of urgency's got to go up in our group. Playoff race is real tight, and we got to find a way to get points here, especially at home.
Yeah, sense of urgency. So you're the captain of this team. Like you played 20 minutes the other night. Tonight, not very good. Mm-hmm. What do you do about a sense of urgency? How's that work?
Well, it starts with me. I think the last 2 probably not my best. I could be better. When I'm better, usually the whole group responds, and so that starts there. Sense of urgency didn't even start in practice. I thought our puck play's been real bad, real bad. Not really connecting on passes. When we do, kind of sloppy, bouncing, whatever it is. So, when you're playing that way, it looks slow and clunky, and I thought we've looked that way for the last 2 games.
Just bigger picture, you guys used to be a pretty good team the last few years. If you get down a goal, you can come back. You've only won 4 games out of 26 when you give up the first goal. That's really not what your team is for a high offensive team. Can you attribute that to anything this year?
Well, I think everyone looks at our team as some high offensive team because we got, some good players, but the recipe for our group has been, be a sound defensive team. That's the way we've had success, and obviously we got away from that tonight.
All right, there's Connor McDavid. Not happy, obviously. Saw some frustration on the bench from him on the broadcast. This quote stood up to me. Our puck play is bad, real bad, slow and clunky the last few games.
Yep. That's like what we've been hammering home all night.
Absolutely. And they recognize it, but go fix it. Go do something about it. Because if that continues, then we're going to be talking about losses to teams we expect them to beat. And that's kind of been the case lately. And interesting, he's right. There's basically no February, just the 2 games at the start of the month. And I think 3 at the very end of the month, essentially the 2.5, 3 weeks there, it's Olympic time. So he's basically saying the stretch drive starts right now and they get things back into the right direction on Saturday night. All right. Collingwood Rob says that it was Frederick that was going a little bit berserk on the bench, slamming it. Thank you, Collingwood Rob, for that. And you keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Reid Wilkins is standing by. I'm going to do the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game really quickly, because I think we all have a pretty good idea where this one abruptly came to a halt for the Edmonton Oilers. Your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Brought to you by our good friends over there. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today. www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to point back to the fastest 3 goals allowed in franchise history. Wow, 3 goals in 37 seconds within the first 3 minutes of the game on 4 Penguins shots. That basically, took the crowd out of it. A lot of Pens fans were happy. They were making noise tonight, and rightly so. And that's a steep climb against a good team playing well right now, feeling hot. And that's the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that 3 goals in 37 seconds off 4 shots. No bueno. And that is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. You need something fixed up. Maybe sore shoulder. Maybe you got tennis elbow, as I watched the Aussie Open. hit them up at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Let's welcome in Reid Wilkins for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Hey, Riedrich, a virtual digital hug to you, sir. As Cass coined the term.
I heard those are being given out tonight. I accept. Thank you.
All right. What did you think of you? What did you think of the Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club and its performance tonight?
Yeah, terrible performance. Didn't do anything well. We're out of it early. I mean, I've heard you guys talking about some of the issues, and Knobloch and McDavid and Jarry spoke, like just bad puck play, not completing passes, not finishing opportunities. I mean, they had a 3-on-1, maybe even a 4-on-1, didn't get a shot on net. Exhibit A, giveaways all over the ice, including McDavid. I mean, the Malkin goal was off. The breakaway goal was off McDavid turning the puck over just inside the blue line. So just terrible puck play, really costly turnovers. And then the, campfire defending, like watching, being in the wrong place. I mean, whoever you want to blame, Bouchard, Mangiapane on some, like, here's the thing, right? Like there's defending and then like doing it properly, which is preferable. And then there's also the point where it's like, oh, that guy's open in front of my net. I guess he's now my man because no one else is going to him.
That's never good.
You got to adjust if other guys screw up, but just a bad game. I mean, I want to be clear. I'm not going to criticize Draisaitl. No. I think he can be excluded tonight just because of his 8 or 9 hour travel day. I mean, in a perfect world, he wouldn't have played, but you understand why he wants to get out there and play.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big guys, the big guys weren't good. The other forwards didn't generate a lot as usual. So maybe Spencer Stastny's toughest game as an Oiler as well. And it was just really bad. And I also, I referenced this a little bit on my show today. Like, I was surprised that Jarry was the goaltender. Like, why did Jarry start this game? Well, we don't want to play him too much. We want to ease him back from the injury. And then he plays 2 consecutive games.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you catch what Knobloch said? Why?
Well, this afternoon he said something like there weren't a lot of shots against the Devils.
Right. And he said they have a day off tomorrow. There was a day between games, and he feels like he can handle the load.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just
as the coach, he can go right back. He can say whatever he wants. He doesn't have to tell us the whole plan. But, I mean, I'm not saying they lost because of Jarry.
Yeah.
But maybe Pittsburgh was a little more motivated seeing Jarry.
Yep.
And they wouldn't have. Hence, I don't know if Ingram's ever played Pittsburgh. He probably did once or twice. Like just an awful game, an absolutely awful game. I mean, they've now lost on home ice this year. What, 9-1, 8-3, and 6-2? I think the Dallas game was 8-3.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, here we go with this team. That this is the team. I mean, they can play well. But they can't win 3 in a row, and then they're capable of really getting worked over and still having these old mistakes surface.
How would you assess them in the last month? Because we've talked about them winning 2 of 3 and not going on prolonged losing streaks, which is worth some respect, obviously. But we've really talked about the lack of being able to sustain success and win games. But if you look at the games that they have won in the last month, and you look at the games that they have lost in the last month, usually when they lose, we're talking about this same theme, like puck play poor, lack of defensive awareness, cheating for offense, could have used the save. And you look at the wins and the quality of opponent, and you go, not great. And the half-decent teams have kind of made them look bad and forced them to have poor puck play and puck management. Do you think that's a fair way of looking at it, or do you see it a little bit differently?
Well, I mean, if you look at it since Christmas, they actually haven't been very good. And I was talking about in my show today that since November 20th, there have been some positive signs. But if you look at it, most of that was probably between November 20th and Christmas. Since Christmas, outworked, lost to Calgary, outworked, Pickard stole it in Winnipeg.
Yep.
Brutal against Boston, pretty bad against Philadelphia, crushed Nashville, I believe come from behind against Winnipeg, mediocre against LA, lost in a shootout, beat Chicago 4-1, pretty solid game from what I remember.
Yep.
Sloppy against Nashville, lost in overtime. Excellent game against the Islanders, but lost 1-0. Humiliated a brutal Vancouver team. Humiliated a below average St. Louis team. So credit for that. I mean, you got to, if a team's bad, you should kick the crap out of them. One good period against New Jersey, lost, deserved to lose, and then brutal tonight. So since Christmas, they are 6-6-2. So that's not very good. I mean, 500 in points, which isn't great in the NHL, and winning fewer than half their games.
Mm-hmm.
So now they did have a stretch in there where they were 5-0 and well, actually they weren't that good. Well, from January 6th to January 18th, they were 5-2-1, or 5-1-2, which I guess is decent.
Yeah, that is decent.
So you bank some points there, but yeah, it's been pretty uneven since Christmas. Most of the games haven't been as bad as this one. Like this looked like they looked back in game 8 when they're just throwing the puck away and they're in the wrong position and they don't know who to cover.
Yeah.
But like this is the team. Like I've heard some of the texts, like roster construction. Like yes, the forward core is not deep enough.
Correct.
It's not. It's the third and fourth lines aren't good. You know, and again, Podkolzin's stats are great. Like imagine if he was on the third line. You know, Roslovic, talented player, doesn't play a heavy game, gets pushed off the puck. You know, we saw that. Somebody raised the concerns to me in the press box tonight, and it's probably valid. Is Stastny a heavy player?
I don't think he is.
Probably good. Like he's a good NHLer.
Yep.
Is he a heavy enough player when the games get a little more full throttle? Right. So this is probably the team unless they make more adjustments. I really heard somebody complaining about the Jarry trade.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're crying out loud, guys, I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying the collective guys who are listening tonight and cheering for the Oilers, you wanted a goalie trade. For the last several months, I and other people were saying, okay, fine, it might happen. It'll be a more or less lateral move. And now it happened that way. Like, what are you surprised about? I mean, Ingram might be the savior in net. The guy who was 50-50 to stop a puck in the American Hockey League might turn out to be the savior in net. We'll still see with Jarry. I mean, he's capable of playing better tonight. And he got almost zero. He probably made 4 or 5 really good saves tonight, quite frankly.
Yeah, after the 3-0 goal.
I think he faced 4 breakaways and stopped 2.
Mantha beat him, Malkin beat him, and then the other 2, I think he stopped. Yeah.
So I mean, it was a terrible night defending, but I mean, like this is still the team, even though they've made some changes. And I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think Stastny can play in the NHL and is a useful player. I'm just wondering when things ramp up, right? Like we've already seen Roslovic and some of the other guys, when things ramp up, they're not as noticeable. I
wanted to say something about Stastny, and I know a lot of people, even Ekholm today said it. He's a lot like Brett Kulak. He moves like Brett, reminds me of Brett Kulak. We've heard fans say it and be like, well, he replaced Brett Kulak. He's smaller than Brett Kulak. And you make a good point. When the game gets tougher physically and ramps up, he doesn't have the experience of Brett Kulak. He's just played over, I think he's around 90 games now. I could go into the stat pack and look, but off the top of my head. And we've seen him struggle. Like I think back to that game in Winnipeg where they moved him up to second pairing right side. It was his off wing, by the way. He did not have a good night. They had to move him back down to the third pair. So he's just not there. And then the other difference, and I think it's an important one, between Spencer Stastny and Brett Kulak, and where there's a discrepancy between the two, is Brett Kulak can play the big boy game. We don't know if Spencer Stastny can. And from the small sample size that we've had, it doesn't seem like that. You know,
maybe he'll learn. Maybe he'll
learn.
I'm just saying tonight there were bad
at this
moments
point
for almost everybody tonight.
Absolutely. Nobody was good tonight. And
my big picture is like, this is the team. This is now they are playing better overall. Even in this stretch of being 500, they're still usually not as horrid as they were a lot of nights earlier in the season. But like, there are reasons that they're not able to win 3 in a row. It's not mental, you know, it's maybe a part of it,
sure,
but it's not just like, oh, they get fat and sad. Like, don't underestimate talent here and people being put in the right positions or being recruited for the right positions.
One interesting conversation I had tonight with a scout. I asked, what do you think this team needs more, a forward or a defenseman? Guess what I was told?
I can't even guess, even though it's 50-50. Because I know what I think.
I think Pierre LeBrun went on today and said they're looking for a forward. I don't know if that's going to tie.
This was, but maybe they're looking for a forward. This is what this scout said. They need a defenseman. Yeah. So good. I was like, I listen. They need a forward. They need a defenseman. They could probably use 2 new forwards, to be quite honest, but. They only have so much wiggle room cap wise. And I know in a perfect world, they're dumping Mangiapane and they're finding a home for Adam Henrique and using that cap space to fill with more effective players, more engaging players, probably more physical players, quicker players. Although Mangiapane can skate, Henrique seems to have lost his boots. We're with Reid Wilkins here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. The Oilers fall 6-2. You got Tommy and Benny with you as well. It is Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. Reid, Rick, any other sticking points you want to hit on before we look ahead to Washington and what you think needs to happen to get a dub for the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, from tonight, I don't know. Not really. Like, I just, not really. I mean, it's a lot of it is the same old.
Would you just like to air grievances about things in general? I'll give you the platform.
No, it's fine. I mean, look, this is, we got 30 games left. They're going to have some good nights. They're going to have some bad nights. We know what the flaws are. They were more pronounced tonight than they have been in a lot of other games. I mean, they are capable of playing well. I mean, they did play well 3 games in a row, and the Islanders came in with I believe a kind of a similar record to the Penguins. Mm-hmm. You know, and they played well in that game, but just lost. Like I said, crushed Vancouver, took it to St. Louis. So well done. Might have beat New Jersey if they'd played 2/3 of the game instead of a third, but they didn't. I know Gager has explained what he thinks happened there. So
yes,
I just don't know if there's like I don't know if there's like just a massive fix, or if they're just a little bit away from doing something spectacular. I've seen criticism of Knobloch tonight. It's like, okay, but what specifically? Like, I don't know if you're getting any of that. I saw some on X.
Oh, I see a lot of it.
You can find anything.
Yeah, there's been a few. But
again, but what's specifically? Like, you can't just say, well, they lost, so the coach is crappy. Like, tell me what the coach did wrong. I think the coach started the wrong goalie, quite frankly. I don't know if it would have made a difference. I think he started the wrong goalie. I think if you're that close, like 2.5 minutes into the game, don't waste your timeout. If you're not sure, just don't challenge it. Or just say, screw it, I'm going to challenge it, and I think my guys can kill it off. And if we're down 2-0, I'm going to trust they got the whole... In hindsight, they might have been better off challenging that offside, losing the challenge, and allowing a power play goal. Because then Pittsburgh probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to score 2 goals that quickly.
In hindsight.
To make it 3-0. So, yeah, I mean, little things there, but I mean, it was just an awful night. This is a completely putrid game.
Yeah, well, I could tell with all the mass exodus I was a part of when there was still 11 minutes left on the clock in the third period. I could tell people were a little bit ornery.
People. I mean, there were some boo birds out tonight.
Sure.
There were a lot of happy Penguins fans.
Yep.
I even heard, it sounded like some kids, but I even heard a put in Skinner chant. So it's probably some young Penguins fans saying, let's give him some time in his against his former team.
Really quickly before we take a peek ahead to a Saturday, people were saying the Oilers are bad at home. They can't win at home. They're 12-8-4 on home ice.
That's not a good record, though. They are bad at. Well, they're not great at home.
They get their asses.
They're not
kicked when
taking
they
advantage
lose.
of this homestand. Like the heat is already on now for this homestand.
Yeah.
Like it has to be at least a 10-point homestand to feel any sort of good about it. And quite frankly, I thought the opportunity was there for it to be a 12-point homestand. Well, they would now have to run the table with 5 games left to get to 12 points.
Well, you got to get to 4 first because they have 1 win on this homestand so far. So what do you want to see on Saturday in what do you think could be Alex Ovechkin's last visit to Edmonton?
I don't know. He'll probably keep playing.
Oh. Do you think he'll go for 1,000 goals?
Probably. Why not?
I like that.
I think he probably will. Yeah.
He's still scoring quite a bit, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ingram will be the goalie. Ingram is the Oilers' best goalie right now. And I'm not all of a sudden down on Jarry because of this game. I just think Ingram's their best goalie right now. I mean, you got to do something early in the game. They don't practice tomorrow. They got an off day. And I think McDavid even referenced something like the practices haven't been that sharp in practices even lately.
They haven't practiced much either. So,
just try and, no, I guess they weren't down a lot against the Devils, but they were, what was it against New Jersey? Was it 1-0 then 1? Yeah, it wasn't until the second period. It was 1-0, but try to maybe have a lead after the first period. They actually have a really good record when they score first. So, try to take something out of the first period. I assume Draisaitl will be in better condition to play, just, not
full
getting
day
off
rest.
the plane and trying to play.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
All right. You don't have any off days. You don't have any bad nights. You're always on 110%. And I say that honestly. Fantastic stuff, Friedrich. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in studio.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right, a digital virtual hug for Reid Wilkins there. That is Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Visit them at ewell.ca. Okay, a couple texts, and then we'll get to Betty and his player of the game. Do you think Jarry's worth running?
I mean, up to you.
Do we have it?
Yeah, we do.
How long is it?
It's 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to read a text and we're going to go to Jarry. Okay. Cal in the park. Good to hear from Cal. Wow. 2.5 hours of watching a team that wanted to win versus a team that felt it should win. Was McDavid dressed tonight? Wow. Yeah, he had a couple of bad giveaways that led directly to goals. Mac Lamec says Jarry proved to the Pens that they made the right move. Skinner had the best seat in the house. Credit to the fans who stuck around until the end. Oilers counting down the number of games until the Olympic break. Yeah, they got a bunch of work to do and a bunch of games left. Let's hear from Tristan Jarry after the 6-2 loss.
The entire team is quick snowball there. What did you see early on?
It's tough, I think, just managing the puck. Obviously, it's a key for any team, and obviously any team could play well at any time, and I think just our puck management tonight hurt us a little bit.
From your standpoint, obviously this game has a little bit more to it. I guess how disappointing is it to have this result against those guys? I know it's obvious, but it's the question.
Yeah, you always want to beat your old team. It doesn't matter who or when, and so obviously it always does mean a little extra. But I think we obviously have to change some things. We obviously have to get some better in some areas, and I think if I could keep one or two of those out early, it gives us a better fighting chance.
What are you trying to think to regroup or get it back on the rails when it's 3-37 like that after that?
Yeah, it's tough. You just want to keep going. Mentally, you have to be strong, and you just have to keep going with the next puck. There's always a chance. Teams give up goals here and there, and I think
we got to keep pushing until the very end. It doesn't matter the score. I think if we could push till the very end and come out with the game that we like, we'll be on the better side of it more times than not.
Your team played 20 minutes the other night and lost to New Jersey. Come out tonight, and I'm not sure you played 20 good minutes again. Is there a bigger issue here?
I think it's just being on the same page. Some of the turnovers and some of the missed plays, I think if we can clean that up, like I said, any team could win in any night, but I think that puts us on the better side of things more times than not.
There have been you had some really good starts in the time that you've been here. There's been lots of positive stuff. I guess this is maybe just one in what you hope is a long stretch here, like not make this bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think there's going to be ups and downs with anyone, with any team. So I think it's just learning from it and being better from every game that you have like this. Whether it's a win or a loss, you want to get better and you want to improve every game. The NHL is a fast league and things happen quick, so you have to always be learning.
Probably went against Gino and practiced a lot on a breakaway. Have you seen that move?
It's tough. I think he kind of fans on it and then kind of regroups and just shovels it at the net. Obviously, it's fortunate that a little bit of a lucky balance at the same time, but I think I could have done a little bit better job just being more patient.
3 and 37 seconds. Were you even a little bit stunned when that was going on?
I think it's just trying to regroup as quick as possible. Obviously, you want to give the team a chance to win, whether it's the start of the game or all the way to the end. And I think that I could do a better job of that, just eliminating that from the start of the game.
All right, so there's Tristan Jarry. Tough night for him, and putting a little bit of the onus on himself. Make a save here, make a save there. Maybe they're not down 3-0. Maybe they're only down 1-0 or even 2-0, and gives them a little bit more life. He had 16 saves on 22 shots faced. The 3 goals in 37 seconds came on 4 shots, and I think that was in the first 2 minutes and 56 seconds, if I recall correctly off the top of my head. Let me see if I'm actually remembering this right. 2:57. So Crosby's goal, which was beautiful, came at 2:57. All right, let's go to a couple texts. We'll go to Benny. SJ Not in the Kootenai says, the reality is this. This team does not like playing hockey. It likes playing power play. It really always ever has. But this year, it's the only thing this team is actually good at. So a little bit tongue-in-cheek, I think, but some harsh criticism there of Tristan Jarry, or not Tristan Jarry, the Edmonton Oilers. I was reading another text about Jarry. Stanley in YYC says, woof. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Pitiful efforts in both nights where the team played in Calgary the night before. We've seen this movie on too many nights this season. Not worth picking on any individual players, as nobody had anything going. Stanley and YYC. I will give credit to Matthias Janmark on a great strip to send and then to go in on the odd man rush and pass the puck to Wallman for the shorty. That was a nice play. There we go.
You're stealing something.
Well, let's hand it off to Benny now. Sorry. My bad.
David,
My bad.
No,
I didn't know.
It's okay.
Maybe you and I are just on the same wavelength.
We are. The David Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. David Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on davidbunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Yeah, you stole it. No, I'm just kidding. But like, kind of.
I was talking about a play.
Oh, I know,
not
but
the player of the game.
That's all I like can go to. To be honest, like, what Oiler was like a positive tonight? I could give it to Savoy with a shot, but I gave player of the game to him last game. So what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna double up. So yeah,
you give it to a Penguin player. You know that it's not just Oilers.
I made this rule. I'm going to reward an Oiler.
Homer.
I'm going to reward an Oilers player every single game. I've rewarded a puck before. I've rewarded. That was a fun game. I think
we're taking this segment away from you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him Matthias Janmark. He made a great play on that PK there. hits Wallman. Wallman has a great shot and beats Shelovs, which I thought was giving them life to the Oilers. I actually thought the momentum was kind of turned the other way. To me, I didn't think it was 60 minutes of horrible Oilers play for me today, personally. I think that's where I disagree with a lot of people. I think there was moments where they looked good and they looked solid. They had their looks, but it wasn't as efficient as they typically are. And obviously they gave up too many grade A chances the other way as well. It by all means was not a great game by them. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying there was a moment in this game where at least I thought, I'm like, the Oilers might come back from this. Like this is a typical game where they turn around and have a 3-goal comeback and all that stuff. And I thought we were maybe trending towards that way on that Wallman shorthanded goal, but didn't happen. But Matthias Janmark, I mean, he's been pretty consistent. He doesn't get a lot of points, but when he does, I feel like you should reward him. So he's player of the game today.
All right, that is the Damon Bunting Player of the Game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting now with The Agency. Nicely done, Benny Thompson. You gave the Player of the Game to a puck? How am I not remembering this?
This was I think it was the Colorado game or the Dallas game.
They sucked the hind banana on those ones.
You just couldn't give it to anyone that night. I gave it to the puck. I gave it to I think I gave it to I can't remember. I gave it to the Post, I think, or something. I don't know. I went all over.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, it was. That game was no one worth rewarding.
No. Good point. All right, let's wrap up with a few texts here. Greg the Sound guy says, hey guys, I've done the trip over a weekend to Europe on KLM a few times for work. A short trip isn't so bad if you manage your sleep. Not sure that Leon was able to. Props to him for making sure he played. He might be slow and tired on Saturday. I'm not a pro athlete, however. I'm a band guy who tends to treat his body as an amusement park. Leon gets a pass. The others do not. Bummer of a game, boys. Props to Leon, but maybe he should have slept. Yeah, it was a surprise to many that he played. Got in this afternoon, 8.5, 9 hour flight direct from Amsterdam. And, with getting to the airports and the security and all that crap, getting your bags. If you have a bag that's checked, it's more than just the flight time for sure. Let's see what else we got here. I think we had a few other ones that I had forgotten earlier in the show. I'll just end it with this one from Big Uke. Says, Oilers will be fine. Calm down, folks. Go Sports. No Clue 420 says, big heater on its way. Going to be amazing. Cup year. Are you being facetious, Big No Clue? I'm looking at the nasty chat right now. So maybe a little bit of a funny. To all those who were very upset tonight because of this 6-2 loss, I want to give something to all of you. It is a virtual digital hug that Cass recommended. So a virtual digital hug to all of you out there who are down after tonight's loss. Understandably so. Bad night in oil country. No bueno. Pick yourself up. Dust yourself off. Remember the crappy things you did. Don't do them again on Saturday. Let's see if you could get a win and turn this thing around a little bit, because you still need points. You only have a 3-point cushion over the next team in the Pacific Division, and that right now is the Anaheim Ducks. Seattle's 2 points behind them, so you need some wins. Anaheim, by the way, on a 5-game heater. Wake up, Oil. Wake up. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. 6-2, the Penguins beat the Oilers. They are back in action on Saturday night. That's an 8 o'clock start against Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. We're on the air at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. We'll be on the air for Hello Hockey at 10 a.m. as well. So some great content on a Saturday for you right here on EST. The boys get you going at 6 a.m. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev, they'll have a lot to say about this one. And then the day of coverage and content continues until 6 p.m. on our fine station. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player. Of course, if you watched on YouTube, big thank you. Hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it. Subscribe. A lot of people forget to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so you know that we're on. pretty much all the time, especially Monday to Friday, and quite a bit on weekends as well. The Oilers lose it, second straight. They'll look to end this little skid here on Saturday against the Caps. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. For Matt Kassian, Reid Wilkins, and Ben Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying, have a lovely night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.